So, need a minute. Everyone calm yourselves. When I told my dad that I was going to be giving a best man speech for Chaz, his only word of advice was, don't try and be funny. Whatever you do, don't try to be funny. Anytime anyone tries to be funny, they always fail. So whatever you do, don't try and do it. And just send a copy of it to me along the way. English is like his fifth language, but he figured it out. And he wrote back, he was like, great, you have a few typos, but I think it'll be okay. So here we go. Hi. For those of you who don't know, I'm Austin. I've known Charles here since the 7th grade, and I met Alyssa shortly after these two started seeing each other. First, I would like to thank T, Curtis, Huff, and Dale for creating the two glorious individuals we have before us today, Alyssa and Charles. I'll be referring to him as Chaz out of pure habit, and my inability to call him by his adult name. I know this is a wedding and all, but Chaz is Chaz to me. So Charles, Charlie Bob, Chaz, Blaze, Chazzy Caviar, Robert Madison is a man of many names, actually. But he has a very singular personality. I met Chaz back in the fall of 2001 at Shelton Middle School. He always wore a blue fleece vest and carried his binder, his pencil box, and all of his textbooks with him everywhere he went.
Engineer!
He has his own way of doing things, and it seems to work for him. All right, we weren't friends at first. I may have even been his nemesis. Eventually, though, we became friends, and even the best of friends. Now, several years later, after high school, we backpacked our way through Europe for a month. We stayed with friends and family, as well as the occasional hostel. Typically, I'd pick the city and we'd be heading to, and Chaz would figure out what we'd do when we'd get there and what we'd eat. But in the hills of Austria, he found this small little wine town we visited called Dernstein. We hiked through the ruins of a prison and enjoyed the sunset along with a very reasonably priced wine. This is when I realized that Chaz is a good backpacking partner, as well as a true romantic. Once I finished college and I found a job in Seattle, making fish glow, as you do, the moment I told Chaz, and without skipping a beat, he mentioned that he had some family I could stay with for a bit while I got used to the real city. In fact, every chance he's had, and without fail, Chaz has been there for me when I've needed him. I'm sure a lot of you know what I'm talking about, and you have stories of your own. His network of friends is large and diversely unique. Sometimes we mix as well as oil and water, but he always brings everyone together with his own quirky style and nonchalance. All right, now for the good stuff. After his first date with Alyssa, Chaz told me how great it had been to meet her, that they had chatted for hours and hours. I talked to Alyssa about this, and she agreed that the first date had exceeded expectations. The second date, though, she was reconsidering her expectations, and on the third date, he came across as intimidatingly impressive and worldly. Yes, she said worldly. On the fourth date, though, 4 times the charm, he really captured her heart when he revealed 2 of his special qualities. He loves animals, and he's a complete and total nerd. Second page. I need to rewind for a minute and go back to the high school days. We were in advanced algebra with Mr. Jackson at one point. This class was during the first period of the day, and Chaz sat in front of me. He was tired most days because he doesn't wake up well in the mornings. Everyone knows that. I mean, come on. So tired, in fact, that he'd usually catch a cat nap or two during the 90-minute class. While I was studiously taking notes and trying to remember that a logarithm is an exponent, he'd be breathing along, softly dreaming his sweet little dreams. One day, he told me about one of these dreams. He was standing in front of a large chalkboard, hello microphone, that had the meaning of life spelled out for him in great detail. It made perfect sense to him, and he was hastily taking notes and writing as the writing slowly disappeared. This was probably the first and only time he took notes in his life. I digress. The evening after I had met Alyssa, I felt like Chaz, standing in front of that chalkboard. Everything fit, and everything just made perfect sense. They were disgustingly cute together. And I knew, surprisingly quickly, that Alyssa was the girl for Chaz. I pretty much asked Chaz the first night after I met her that, like, what are your real intentions with this girl? This is the one for you. You know, cut the bullshit. Like, where's this going? Oh, sorry, family appropriate. Putting it back in. Last paragraph, let's bring it home. So, Chaz loves music, and it's one of the greatest components of his life. We've sang karaoke together many times over the years, and Chaz, every time, sings Queen's Somebody to Love. Without fail, he has the DJ drop the melody 2 octaves, because he's a music nerd like that, and goes on to beg and plead, like Freddie Mercury with every fiber's beating, to find somebody to love. Well, Chaz, after today, you definitely need a new karaoke song. I'm Austin Forbes, I'll be here all week. Bye, everyone.